Okay, if we take a look at number 5, we have 7 and 5/8 plus 2 and 2/3. So our first step is to find a common denominator. I'm going to look at my multiples of 8. So I have 8, 16, 24. 24 is going to be the first number that they both go into. So this is going to become 24ths. This is going to become 24ths. It looked like you multiplied top and bottom by 3 and got 15 24ths, and then top and bottom by 8 of the second fraction to give you 16 24ths. So then you're going to add your whole number parts together, which gives you 9. When I add my fraction parts, 15 plus 16 is 31 24ths. So then what you need to do is you need to take 31 24ths and rewrite that as a mixed number. I know that there's 24 24ths in there, plus how many more to get me to 31? That would be 7 24ths, right? If I took 24 and I added 7 to it, that would give me 31. So this fraction is the same thing as 31 24ths. And then you know that 24 over 24 is really 1. So you have 9 plus 1, which is 10, and then you have the 7 24ths. So your final answer is 10 and 7 24ths. I'm not sure if you have problems with the improper fraction or not, so I'm leaving, this is just that regrouping method. So if we move on to number 8, for number 8, we need to multiply 5 6 times 3 4. So I'm going to start off with the 5 6, and I'm going to divide up my rectangle into 6 equal parts. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equal parts. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to shade in 5 of them. I wanted to shade in 5 of them. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so I have 5 6 of my paper shaded in. Now I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this 3 4ths, and this time I'm going to go horizontally. I'm going to divide my paper into 4 equal parts, going horizontally. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to shade in 3 of those parts. So I have 1, 2, 3 of those parts shaded in. And then what we're going to look for is we want to look for where it's double shaded. So this region here is where I have it double shaded. And so I would say that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I have 15 out of 24 blocks shaded in. So from the multiplication I can see that I ended up with 15 24ths, and then I can reduce top and bottom by 3 and get it down to 5/8. But really from the picture I can see that it's 15 24ths. Okay, for number 9, basically the question is telling you, or the problem situation is telling you that you have 3/4 of a bag of dog food left, and Henry eats 3/8 of a bag a week. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide our circle into 3 4ths, and then we're going to shade in how much dog food we have. So we have 3 4ths of a bag left. So if Henry is eating 3/8 of a bag a week, I need to look at eighths. So I already have my circle divided up into fourths. So now I'm going to divide it up into eighths. So I have it into 8 equal parts, and what I'm going to do now is I want to group together 3 at a time. So I can say this is 1, 2, 3. So this here is one group of 3. So I'm going to put a 1 here. And then I can see here I have 1, 2, 3. So this here is my second group of 3. So I have 2 groups of 3/8. So 3/8 goes into 3/4 2 times. So I'm saying that 3/4 divided by 3/8 is equal to 2. That's using the circle diagram. Another option you have is using the number line. So if we look at our number line, this is from 0 to 1. I'm going to divide it up into fourths. So here's my 3/4. So this is how much dog food I have left from 0 to 3/4. And I have Henry eating 3/8 of a bag a day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide it up now into eighths. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6/8, which is the same as 3/4. So now what I want to do is I want to figure out how many jumps of 3/8 can I do. Eighths and 3/4 is 2. The last method as an option that you have is you can use equal denominators. So for that, what we're going to do is we're going to say that 3/4 is divided by 3/8. And to make the denominators the same, I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 2. So that's going to give me 6/8 divided by 3/8. When the denominators are the same, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to divide my top two numbers. 6 divided by 3 is going to give me 2. So any way I do it, I end up with an answer of 2. Okay, the last one, they gave you information about the dimensions of the house. They gave you the dimensions in feet, but then they converted it to yards because if you're buying carpeting, it's in yards. So really the only information you need is to know is that you're multiplying 4 2/3 yards by 5 1/6. The other information you were given earlier we don't need anymore because they already converted it for us. So to use the area model, what we're going to do is we're going to take 4 2/3 and we're going to divide up our box. So the top part is 4 and the bottom part is 2/3. And then along the top I'm going to write 5 1/6, and I'm going to again divide my box up into the whole number part and the fraction part. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to put the areas inside each of the boxes. So I'm going to take 4 times 5, that gives me 20. I'm going to take 4 times 1/6, and that's the same thing as saying 4 over 1 times 1/6. That gives me 4/6. That's what I'm going to put in that box there. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to multiply 2/3 times 5 to put in this area right here. So when I multiply 2/3 times 5, it's like 2/3 times 5 over 1. That's going to give me 10 over 3, so 10/3. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2/3 times 1/6, and it's going to go in this box here. So 2/3 times 1/6. If I multiply my numerators, I get 2, and my denominators are 18. So once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and take all of my numbers, and I'm going to add up all of those numbers. So I have 20 plus 4/6 plus 10/3 plus 2/18. And I'm going to go ahead and find a common denominator. The denominator of 18 looks good there. So I'm going to multiply this fraction top and bottom by 3 to make it 18. So I have 12/18. This one here I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 6 to give me 18ths. So 60/18. And then the last one, top and bottom by, or it can stay the same. And then I have 20. So then I'm going to go ahead, and what I need to do is I just need to add up my fractional part here. So when I add it up, I get 72/74. I get 74/18. And what I need to do is I need to take this improper fraction and write it as a mixed number. So I need to figure out how many 18s go into 74. I know that 4 18s, right? 18 times 4 is going to give me 32, carry the 3. That gives me 72. So I know there's 4 18s in there, which would have been 72. And then I have 2 more 18ths. So 74 18ths is 4 and 2 18ths. And so I'm going to add 20 plus 4, which gives me 24 and 2 18ths. And that 2 18ths I can reduce to 1/9. Okay, another way, if you're confused about that whole 74 18ths, another way to think of it is just 74 divided by 18. I know if I multiply it by 2, that gives me 72, 2 left over. I'm going to take my remainder and put it over my denominator. Okay, hopefully that helps.